Hey guys, Passport Bro Visuals. Back at it with another one. Yeah, so I did watch some of J Rello's live last night. I did watch them. I can't really recall what the guy's name was. Boone Travels or World Travels or something like that. And there was an argument they was having, and what it was basically, J Rello felt, he felt kind of slighted or disrespected by the Boone guy, because of the fact that he said he felt like he spoke on the situation with him and the Kenya situation, and and then he did a sort of video talking about the different people he's gonna slide at the Sasua, Dominican Republic. He happened to be one of the guys, so I guess the guy called up about it, but he said he wasn't really sure if he's gonna do it or not as far as the video, because he wasn't really having no problem with it all like that. But it was back and forth. But he's Rello looking at it like it's disrespect. But as far as like mess with him, don't mess with him. But that's not what the guy was saying. The guy was trying to say, hey, it wasn't really, I fuck with you, but I don't agree with the situation that happened in Kenya. And he's looking at it like, that's how the guy's looking at it. But he's looking at it, Rello looking at it like, hey, he shouldn't really be speaking on it if they cool, even at all, regardless of what you feel. And that's what Rello was saying, which I don't totally agree with. But that was really just a J Rello cop out, you know what I'm saying? Because anybody that's speaking on that situation that's cool with him, I notice that he gets bothered by it, because he's like I said, these are fellow YouTube travelers like him. And even at the bottom, some have some weight, but he look at it like a clout sort of thing. That may not be what it was. But like the guy was telling him, hey, you're talking about you big in this face and all that sort of stuff. Hey, I talk about you on live or something like that. Only a few people, come in to hear about my commentary on you. You know what I'm saying? So he don't really care about the subscribers like that, as far as having more subscribers. So really, Rello's not big as he think he is in the space. As he thinks he is. So that's what was going on with that. But yeah, really the guy just didn't want him talking about it at all. You know what I'm saying? But he's looking at anybody that's cool with him. He's looking at any criticization of what he's doing is disrespect, and it's not disrespectful. This is the same thing that's holding J Rello back in his personal life and as a traveling YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? You're wrong. You got pretty much lucky, because we know that you hit that girl and you kind of somewhat got away with it. Not completely with the channels, being deleted, but they really just building their case so they can bang you over. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's how he's looking at it. That's wrong with him, with J Rello. But yeah, J Rello, like I said, he can't take that criticism from other YouTubers that he's cool with, because he knows the truth that their voice holds more weight than him. Than him in the space and as a man, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of afraid of that. You know what I'm saying? But he knows the truth. And that he's not that big of a YouTuber like he thinks he is, you know what I'm saying? But the other guys, they hold more weight, like Keese, regardless of what people think about Keese, he holds more weight. Other travelers, even Razor Rage holds more weight, as a traveler, as a commentary, traveler. His voice holds a lot more weight, he won't really say anything in that direction. He'll criticize some of the stuff he do, but he's not gonna, outright, speak against him in the sense of it being a problem, as far as his subscribers or whatever. But like I said, J Rello is just really easily threatened because he knows whatever it is he's doing, he's wrong. Basically, he knows that he's wrong, and he knows that he's not that big in the space like he thinks he really is. But yeah, the guy I think was right. I don't think the guy said anything wrong. He's just looking at it like that. You know what I'm saying? But he say he's conflicted because he cool with the guy, but he ain't really want to do the video because he cool with him. So he just had a problem with what he said, but you feel like you disagree, you shouldn't say anything publicly. But that's the problem. There's levels to it. And when you do certain things that's like that, yeah, you simply walk away and don't say anything. But at the same time, some things you gotta have to speak publicly because you made the whole space look bad. The only thing that kind of saved you was the fact that we didn't see you hit the girl, and then two, the fact that you always claim that you're not a passport, bro. You're just associated in a space, But that's why I disagree with. That's why I disagree with BMT, because BMT should have, simply, he should have been more critical, you know what I'm saying? But, I think he has to, my problem with BMT is, my guy, but I have a problem with him being so neutral. In a space, I get the drama thing, he's not really with that, but at the same time, he shouldn't be as neutral as he is. As much as people don't like it, he's still by way a part of the space as far as J Rello, but he's a problem, like I said, due to the antics, and it makes him bigger in the space, bigger than the space. He's not, but he's a big enough personality. People are gonna focus more on him than the space itself, So now you got Kenyans out there. Some of them protesting, they threatening, people if they come there for that, and it's not a good look, But I think he should have had something to say on him, to be more critical. But like I say, J Rello is easily threatened, and I know he's cool with K9. I know they don't have no problem, which is great. But I'm just saying, Rello knows they kind of on his last leg, and he knows that the people he calling out their name, Rello can't fight. And Rello's not as tough as he thinks he is, you know what I'm saying? He's really not. And I think he would lose. But like I say, Rello just gotta, he's afraid of the criticism because he knows how that will affect him in that space with other YouTubers as far as travelers go. Like I said, he can't really just say they all, hating on him and nobody wants to mess with him. But the fact is, the people that do, the low-hanging fruit of traveling YouTubers that do mess with you, they're gonna call you out because what certain things you're doing is foul. It is bad, it's trash. They're gonna call you out on it, and that's just how that goes, you know what I'm saying? But it says a lot about him. It don't matter if you're putting people on; they know how to, do what they gotta do as a YouTuber and get big in the space. They really don't really need you like that, So I think that's what the problem is with that. But yeah, I don't think the guy did nothing wrong per se. I think he was right to say what he needed to say. And I think he's just, Rello's just scared because he knows how bad that situation was. But he don't want nobody, he cool with speaking on it, but they have to, as they should. And two, they got channels themselves that they got to look out for. They got to do that also. But like I say, Rello is so selfish. That's why he's in the state that he's in. You know what I'm saying? And that says a lot about him. So, that's what I think that's the big problem with him and the situation. But yeah, he is planning to have a trip to Sasua again, like I said in my last video, it's on the precipice of the 1 year anniversary of when he lost his job behind going to the Sioux on a Halloween trip. And that's totally unnecessary, and it's also probably just really just bad management of money, in my opinion, you know. Personally, I mean, unless you got the money like that, but it just doesn't make any sense. You know, you should go out there, you know, do what you gotta do, struggle, get a job, you know. And I know it's 8.8% unemployment out there in Gary, Indiana, but he looking like, you know, he might as well just go have a trip. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, hey, you know, you're not sitting up there, you know, you're not sitting up there trying to work or do anything, you know. You're just making your situation worse. And like I said, that situation with that job, you know what I'm saying? Like the situation with that job, like, hey man, you know, you're not gonna end up getting another job out there because of that video where you recorded your boss. You know, you might come across another really good job that may want you, but they may know about that video and they end up can't hire you, especially if they say something. So that's just you messing up, you know, what you doing, and you burning your bridges at the same time. You know what I'm saying? You know, because this type of content is what it is, but it's not that sustainable as far as what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, like I said again, you know, unemployment 8.8% out there. You're not helping yourself, doing no favors, you know, by recording your boss in regards to the job, trying to see why you're getting fired. When everybody can see in the video, you see why you got fired, but also see that you're not gonna. You also see why, you know, that's your fault. That's why you got fired. It's 100% on you, but also why you're not gonna get the unemployment, which obviously he didn't, because he never spoke about it again. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I don't think he's really working long enough to really get anything, you know, much of anything, if at all, you know. But that's what they say about him. You know what I'm saying? So you just making your situation worse in a bad place, in a rough situation already. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Gary, Indiana has been rough since the 70s, really the 80s. You know what I'm saying? 80s and 90s. And you know, he should know that, but you shouldn't want to make your situation worse than what it is by recording your your employer. That's why you're getting fired, even though they can clearly see you and they're telling you why you got fired. It's 100% you. And if you were to get unemployment, I mean, you lost the credibility to get that. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? They have to say why you lost the job. You know, you trying to tell them essentially not to tell unemployment the truth as to why you know, that's why you lost the job, or why you shouldn't get unemployment. But that's on you. But you got the video out there, you know, and that's how I know. Since that point, he's been struggling to get work. Again, because he's already ex-con, but you showing why you ex-con. You showing why you immature. That's why you went to prison. You know what I'm saying? You showing why you lost your job as an immaturity, and they already gave you days, and they even graced you with the vacation you had that you had set up before you got the job, which really they just extended your start date. They just pushed the start date back. You know, then the boss is saying, hey, you still got holiday coming up with Thanksgiving, you know, or whatever. So it just says a lot about you. But I mean, even Thanksgiving sounds a little bit more stronger of a you know, reason to go to a trip. You know what I'm saying? Out of the country. But this Halloween thing, I don't see why it's so big. Let alone the situation in Sasua with all the crackdown going out there in Sasua, DR. It just doesn't make any it just doesn't make any type of sense, really. You know, personally, I don't really get it. You know, personally, so. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. But yeah, I mean, he's just continuing to burn in a lot of different bridges. Anybody opportunity, who knows, that guy he was talking to, he might end up being the next big travel YouTuber. And that he's probably not going to help you out if that's the case at all. You know what I'm saying? And it probably yes they shouldn't. Yeah, probably yes they shouldn't. And that's why I think J Rello just need to look at what he's doing and just stop with the bullshit. Yeah, he just pretty much stop with the bullshit. But he's not gonna do it. People want to still give him money, still do what they do, and that's just how it is. Like he's definitely gonna crash and burn if he's not careful. But the sewer trip, I wouldn't take it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. I don't get it at all. It doesn't make any type of sense to me personally. But yeah, he's just wasting your money. If you send him that money, I don't think he'll get it because that's just not enough time. I mean, you essentially got 2.5 weeks at best to try to make a trip. In November, right around the corner, right there. So yeah, I just don't. I don't see the appeal for it. I don't get it. I just don't get it. There's no reason to take a vacation trip or a sewer trip for for October. It's just, like I said, Halloween is not that, big of a holiday. If anything, you should be using that to help save up money for a more important trip. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how I would do it. Thanksgiving makes a little bit more sense actually. Even Christmas, but those are those you want to spend with family, but still, But yeah, he did say something about a trip with somebody in January. But like I said, he could be using that money then or now to be saving up for that, for that January trip, But like I said, he got faith in the subs, but that's just what that is right there. So, but I know he is. He's got one video up on the live. On his channel, but he's not having the lives on there right now. I think he'll probably get back to it eventually, but I think he knows a lot of people was clipping a lot of his stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think people are clipping a lot of his stuff, and I think that's why he's just doing the lives to keep them from clipping him in his videos. You know what I'm saying? I think that's, but either way, people still going to do the videos on him, and they still going to find a way to record and clip his videos anyway, because it really does show a lot about the flaws of him. So, yeah, that's just what it is. So, that's kind of my thoughts on it. Yeah, but I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to post another video soon, real quick, and yeah, so I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.